Warning, warning. Two idiots are reading the SCP files over the intercoms. Please cover your ears and await further instructions.
Content warning. The article in the following episode will describe scenes of mutilation and body horror. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, SCP heads? We are back. It's me, Tanani.
And it's me, Darnell, and I have terrible, terrible news for Tanhoney.
What's the terrible news?
Well, you see, we only have 3 hours left in your poll, and after 74 votes, we have a 65%...
I like how this is the recount as well of my life or death.
The 65% vote for death for Tanhoney versus 35 for life.
Well, if you'll go back a couple of weeks on my Twitter, you notice I did a similar poll, and they also voted death there, and yet I'm still here as a performance artist.
I did forget that you originally did the poll. You just kept saying death and life for Tanhoney, and it made me want to do the meme, and then I forgot you had already done a poll.
And yet I'm still here.
Life for Tanhoney. Life for Tanhoney. Yeah, you are still here. Are you happy, though?
I am.
Nice. You got things going for you, big guy. You're learning a language.
Yeah.
You're learning some Japanese, so anyone who's fluent in Japanese...
You'll notice I can say pizza now. Here I go.
Why is that so important to you?
Because it made me happy.
Okay, say it.
Pizza.
No.
It's exactly the same.
It's not the same.
It is. It's the same. Pizza.
Oh.
It's P and Z. Pizza.
Tell us your favorite thing you've learned so far.
How many times do I have to say it? Pizza.
Sorry, your favorite thing that's not the same thing in both languages.
Party. I like to say party.
Party.
Party. Will you come to my party? I have such amusements.
That's pretty good. But yeah, anyways, if you speak Japanese, just DM Tan in full Japanese and he'll understand.
I'll understand. I promise I won't press the translate button.
He'll try his best. And what else is going on in news lately? Aetherall Space.
Twitter imploded, much like the submarine.
What has imploded like the submarine?
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's breaking down. But, I mean, whatever. Who cares about Elon? In more important news, there's a Patreon now for Aetherall Space.
I was going to say Elon set up a Patreon to try and get Twitter back up. Can you imagine?
That would be pretty funny, not gonna lie.
Like, show your support, please.
People would be like, such an iconic business head move.
There'd be like 5 blue ticks at the top, like, no problem, sir. Always happy to support your endeavours.
Do you remember that blue head tweet, the blue checkmark tweet? There's some dude who was like, I would suck Elon's dick to make him happy. It's just what needs to get done, or whatever.
Yeah, it was like, I would be so pleased if my wife was attracted to such a great man.
But we're not here to talk about sucking Elon's cock. We're here to talk about...
never do that.
Aetherall Space, but in a lesser extent, discovering SCP.
Yeah, well, we're not necessarily to talk about discovering SCP, but more SCP.
Yeah.
It's not meta.
Not yet. Until we write the Discovering SCP and someone puts the lore to article form.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then what are you going to do?
That would make me so happy. And
that would make me pretty happy. I love how we just suddenly imply that, do it for us. We don't want to do anything.
Go on, guys.
Yeah, I did notice it's been almost a year since you've written anything for the wiki.
I've been fucking busy.
I don't think you can say that you've been on the wiki for 10 years because you've been off for a year.
I go on this fucking website every week to look at it.
But are you contributing?
Leonardo, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Da Vinci, they're all dead. I remain as a performance artist.
Oh my god. Did you just compare yourself to Da Vinci?
I did. Favourably.
Interesting.
But we're not here to talk about them with those losers.
What if instead of SCP we read creepypastas this week? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Well, it would, but it's also not what people come for.
Fine. What do you have for us today?
We have SCP-5999 today. This is how I died.
Is this like someone who didn't make it into 6,000?
Well, there's more 5,000. But this was a team SCP for the contest. It was written by SD Locke, Volgan Strife, The Sherm, Wodenized, and Modern Erasmus. It took all 5 of them, and yet I still won, so what does that tell you?
I know at least half of those people, and I like the people I know. I don't know the others, so I can't speak.
I just want to point out, These are like the Avengers. If you look at this team, like 5 people had to come together, and yet they still couldn't overcome the mountain that is me.
Oh, shut up!
By 1,000 still won. There was something weird's going on. we need to stop the SCPs until we figure out what's going on.
You think you have knowledge, but you don't even have the SCP knowledge I have right now.
What do you have?
My baby, hello, my honey, hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss, wire. You hear me, baby? My heart's on fire.
And I almost just put like, hello my baby, hello my darling, hello my ragtime gal, instead of whatever I've been saying. Well, I wasn't going to spoil regardless, but my point was I'm tapped into the secrets of this world, and you're not. That's all that matters.
So what would I do with that information?
I don't know. I just wanted to look cool, okay? I learned it from watching you.
You became a snitch.
I'm not a snitch. I just wanted to show off. All right, that's it.
This guy's wearing a wire.
All right, big shotgun. Would Skipper wear a wire?
No, he's no snitch.
Why not? He's very. I feel like he would be a snitch.
No.
Okay.
But anyway, let's get into it.
What are we reading again? 5999?
Yeah, it's called...
How do I actually open it? Because there's like links and... Oh my god!
Yeah, the first one. It'll take you into
What's happening? I'm in like a web terminal.
Yeah, calm down.
How do I navigate this?
This is
Help!
There's one button.
Have you seen those videos of the guy who'll be like in the parking lot and he'll be like pretending to shoot something and they'll just be like, help! That's me opening this up. I don't know.
Just click there's one button.
I don't know how to interact with the CSS. It's too advanced.
Just click it.
I did. Okay. All right. It's all yellow though. Why does it have to be yellow?
That's the color it is. Are you okay?
What? Why does the picture look like a video game picture?
It's because it's pixelated. Are you okay, man?
No, it's not pixelated. It looks like models. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. You mean the candles. I thought you meant the logo.
Yeah, no, the candles. Yeah.
Well, maybe it is a video game.
Why are you talking to me like I'm an insane person?
Because you are. You're nuts.
I'm not. I would like to remind you.
You're sick and twisted.
I'm not sick and twisted. Okay?
You're holding a poll on Twitter about killing me.
You're the one who kept making the joke.
You're like the Joker. It's like, by midnight, one of your boats will blow up, and Tanhoney will be on one.
Guys, like this video if Tanhoney should live, dislike it if he should die.
Hold on.
Based on the likes and dislikes at the end of 24 hours.
Hold on, I don't want that many dislikes. Do the other way around.
Why? Dislikes aren't bad.
Yeah, I want a video. I don't want it to have a big dislike bar. So, like if you want me to be killed, dislike if you want me to live. That'll get us a better ratio.
That's so fucked up. Why do you think our fans want to kill you?
Because they're sick and twisted.
No, life for Tanhoney.
Well, I want life for Tanhoney, but I'm being realistic.
No, everyone, guys. Today, the password, since we're giving it out early now, is you have to tell Tanhoney that he's loved. Tell him something nice you like about him.
Yeah, go on.
I know you might have to think really hard, but take your time. You've got 24 hours after the video goes
We do have
out.
an SCP here, so let's start.
Okay. Read.
So we've got a picture of a video game of 7 candles. The above is instrumental to proper containment. Proceed.
Oh, okay.
Item number. Null. Object
Whoa!
class.
That did not sound like your voice.
What do you mean? That's my normal voice.
I did not like how you got close to the mic and you sounded like a different person.
What does that sound like? Does that sound cool?
It just sounded different. Like you lost all aspects of Britishness.
My true self.
It's a true self. American at its core.
Object class. Contained. Special containment procedures. The Department of Analytics has been tasked with the annual procurement of 7 civilians to witness. Procedures. They've been promptly delivered to the Albright Manor on October 30th. Their biological...
Wait, isn't that your birthday?
No.
When's your birthday?
October 12th.
12th?
Yeah.
You should move it to the 30th so it lines up with the article.
What do you mean move it? You can't move your birthday.
Tell that to the birthday bandito.
Oh, fair. Their biological profiles were submitted to the medical department no less than 3 weeks beforehand for analysis. Each witness must be sedated.
Stop doing it.
Must be sedated such that they awaken at approximately midnight on October 31st. Procedure 7-fold typically runs its course before sunrise. All entrances to the Albright Manor have been sealed, barred, and boarded up. The sole exception is the underground shaft used to deposit each witness. It is concealed within the house's cellar. chains remained hot.
This is not the same person. You all can attest that this is not... I can't wait till you listen back to
Conspiracy
this.
theory.
You're going to listen back to this on your earphones and be like, what the
It's
fuck?
like, pre-2020 is not the same man.
Yeah,
like
because the
Paul
pandemic
Riccardi.
happened.
It's like a Paul is dead thing, because like Tannedy was killed in 2020, and they hired an actor.
No! I didn't let anyone know.
The Albright Manor has been fitted throughout with surveillance devices for personnel to witness. Procedure 7-fold through to completion. A command post situated off-site should be staffed with no more than 1 containment specialist and 2 Class D personnel. They are to be given false containment procedures. The containment specialists relay the events within the manor as they transpire, and may be supplanted by a Class D if the need arises.
Wasn't there something similar with some Scarlet King thing we read, where it was like they had a fake bullshit ritual to like ease their minds?
Yeah.
It's messed up. Why is the Foundation gaslighting its own personnel? Like, what do they accomplish?
No panic. Because it's like, oh, well, if we're doing all this bullshit, it must be working.
Shaking my head.
But I would never do that to my personnel.
Shaking my head.
I say having literally like turned several people into the foundations of this country.
Yeah, this country has multiple foundations.
Per Ethics Committee mandates, personnel who survive the night are to be terminated via the introduction of sarin compounds into the outposts.
What's sarin?
Poison.
Oh.
On November 1st, a clean-up crew shall be dispatched to remove the remains of every witness, if indeed it is possible. If difficulties are experienced during retrieval, all bodies will be considered possession of the Albright Manor. They will be integrated into future events. Successfully retrieved corpses are to be incinerated in the crematorium behind the property. Noise-cancelling headphones will be provided to personnel manning the incinerator. I like that. For the remainder of the year, personnel to remain wary of any surfaces which contain the phrase, "This is where I died." Special containment procedures produced by S. Andrew Swan.
This is a freaky article.
Shall we continue? Even though it says do not proceed.
It says there's sound, but no sound's playing.
Maybe you'll get spooked by it.
Also, I see it says 6 in the top left now, instead of 7. Are we going to have enough time for this today?
Well, if we don't, we'll see what we can do next time.
Yes, sir.
And we know if we got candles, and now there's 6 candles, one has been blown
So
out.
far, I gotta say though, this is blowing 5,000 out of the water. So
You'd think so, but it's weird because it didn't win.
when does Pietro show up?
Oh, maybe Pietro showed up. Maybe they got more votes. But, you know,
Would have gotten some numbers.
clearly not.
God
They
damn.
didn't have that star power like Pietro was a popular character.
That's what carried the article, I think, is people were really attached to Pietro Wilson as a human.
He's a glorified set of eyeballs. I forgot where I came from.
What?
Because
You're from England.
No, it's like,
Tanhoney, life for Tanhoney, remember.
I'm mocking Pietro after he won me the contest.
Yeah, because he's so beloved. As
Like
a character.
if he was like part of Fiction came out, he would be so disappointed in me. I mean, like he couldn't do anything because I made him very weak. But
Can I be honest?
Mm.
I think Pietro. I think the suit is more of a character than Pietro because like people are always drawing the suit, you know.
Dr.
And, like, the
Doberman
suit has
doesn't
so
draw
much
the
life
suit.
to it.
Dr. Doberman fucking loves Pietro. I see many images
Really?
of Pietro with less clothing than he's depicted within the article.
Wait, what is this? Dr. Doberman Pietro art?
Yeah, well,
Oh, look at him! He's got like a 5 o'clock shadow, and he's got like the anime hair.
he does.
Oh,
He's a
my.
hunk. But anyway,
Wait,
we
there's
got...
a whole ass cartoon comic?
Oh yeah.
What the fuck? You never showed me this!
Well, I forgot. But we do have an article. We must continue.
This is amazing!
We must continue, please.
No wonder you weren't surprised about the Eighth Rule Space webcomic. God damn! This guy doesn't even know. Oh my god, this is so cool. It's really long, too. Like, they put a lot of time
Yeah,
into
it's the entire
this.
thing, I'm pretty sure.
Jesus. Fucking sweet! Oh,
Should we-
right, we were reading another
Description,
article.
yeah. The description. The scattered remains of a Miss Jacqueline Holcroft are affected by several disparate anomalies. The effects began at an unspecified time after her assault and murder at the hands of 6 unknown assailants. on the 6th of June 2006 and persist through to
And
this
June
day.
is the 6th month, if you weren't aware.
666, my year. First-hand accounts of those affected by these anomalies suggest that neutralization of the effects would occur should each part of Miss Holcroft be collected and laid to rest. Persons in the vicinity of any part of Miss Holcroft's remains, or who are privy to the nature of the crime leading to her death, may become subject to its effects. This entails visual hallucinations. Subjects uniformly report seeing a nude, dishevelled woman with deep lacerations along her extremities. These wounds are consistent with those suffered by Miss Holcroft upon her dismemberment. Most often, the figure appears in one's peripheral, unmoving, clutching its midsection. It disappears when one attempts to look more closely. Auditory hallucinations. These consist primarily of unintelligible whispers and moans. On rare occasions, subjects can discern pleading and begging. In these cases, subjects are typically called for by name. 6 subjects have reported hearing an unfamiliar song, sung to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Olfactory hallucinations, namely the scent of amniotic fluid.
Oh, isn't that like birth fluid?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, so it's like, was she pregnant?
Yeah, I imagine so.
Oh, this got dark real
PT
fast.
shit.
Wow, Jesus Christ. They just decided to go all in.
The
huh?
girl from the door. It's another reality. Do you have a PT?
The last thing I'd want to be in a horror setting is a pregnant woman, because, like, they're really going through it these last few years. Jesus Christ.
Affectation by Miss Holcroft's remains persists until the subject's death. Typically, this is expedited via the development of secondary effects that manifest upon the biannual anniversary, 6 months, of the subject's exposure. Secondary effects include, but are not limited to, the discovery of body parts and organs, fingers, eyes, teeth, and hair will be found at random near the subjects. They are usually found upon opening a drawer, lifting a toilet seat, and in other concealed locations. Just imagine the SpongeBob meme, where it's like, oh, that's a human head. Such as under the subject's pillow or in their meals.
This is so gross.
All such objects disappear when unobserved. Just blink, Fivehead.
Ugh.
The insertion of a... You alright?
Yeah, sorry.
The insertion of a... I thought he'd like jump scared you or something. The insertion of a filthy nude woman into all media depicting the subjects, often obscured or in the distance. Analysis of clear depictions have revealed that said woman is in actuality the reassembled amalgamation of Miss Holcroft's remains.
Amalgamation,
just like an Undertale. Besides the wounds reflecting her dismemberment, the rest of this isn't like Undertale. There is a single large vertical gash beginning between her breasts and trailing down towards her genitalia.
This is like really dark.
An irrational fear.
Should we have put content warnings before this?
Anomalous, please put content warnings before this, you non-linear being. An irrational fear that the chains are weakening.
Oh!
Sleep paralysis. During each session, subjects are reported the presence of multiple shadowy figures which hold down and mutilate them. Unilaterally, before regaining full consciousness and control of their bodies, subjects claim to feel a searing pain in their guts and the removal of a vital component of their being.
The pineal gland, I knew it.
No, give me back my gland.
What's that like? Isn't that the one in the brain, that like funny looking snail thing?
Yeah.
Well, like the videos of people cutting it out?
I don't know this.
Oh,
I'm not familiar with this meme.
My friend sent me some memes a while back that were like 3D CGI of like people cutting open like the brain and like taking out the pineal gland and then zipping it back up.
I think you need that.
Do you? We don't know what it does.
Oh, you don't. I do.
What? Okay, what does it do?
It's vital for my purposes.
Interesting.
It lets me use my powers.
What powers do you have?
This.
That's not a power. That's
You
just
see,
sounding American.
fear just erupted in your head.
Aura. No, continue.
By tracking reports of anomalous activity in civilian deaths, all 206 bones of Miss Holcroft's body have been recovered. The remains have been interred in the Holcroft family plot at in Crash-Len. Upon the conclusion of funerary services, all attendants to the service offered spontaneous disembowelment. Since this time, living subjects previously affected by Miss Holcroft's remains have reported cessation of anomalous phenomena. However, each has proven to be sterile. Furthermore, 1 in 6 subjects with living offspring have reported the disappearance of one of their children.
No.
Despite our best efforts, none of these children have been recovered. It should be noted that this had no effect on Miss Holcroft's presence within the Albright Manor.
What the fuck is going on in this manor, bros?
Description produced by researcher Talaran. I don't know if you remember researcher Talaran.
I don't.
Did we read? What's it called? I'm at the centre of everything that happens to me. Did we read
Is
it?
that a book about Dragon?
No, it was the one that was all crazy. I was like, oh, I don't think we can read that on a
Oh. I'm at 5 now. I see 5 candles and a video log.
Oh, no worries. Oh no, there are 5 candles. Well, let's get into it. Yeah, so exploration video log. Oh fuck!
You just realized?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Never mind.
What happened?
The sound's definitely on. Fucking hell.
Not for me. I can't hear anything.
You'll get it soon enough, I imagine. Video log.
Let me turn off my ad blockers just in case.
That actually freaked me out.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Let's get into it. Video log. Crash Glen, Kansas. Population.
Are you okay? What am I?
Approximately 3,125.
I feel like I'm missing out on the article. I haven't heard anything yet.
No, I'm sure it's like a random interval. It did something. 5 members of Mobile Task Force Epsilon 5, Pentacle, were deployed into the town of Crash Glen following its subsumption by a thick fog. So something you'll notice with this article is that the special container received descriptions, all the sections are like vaguely related, but not in the way like it would be in a normal article. Like the description is not something being contained in the special.
Well, also there's a very clear reference with the numbers going on here, like how everything's 5 in Penta now, and everything was.
Yeah, there's like vague relations. Like Crash Glen was in the previous one, and Albright Manor, and that one was in the previous one, but they don't seem to like match as you think they would.
Yeah.
Following its
still haven't heard anything wonky though.
Don't worry
which is
about
disappointing me.
Town of Crash Glen, following its subsumption by a thick fog and the seeming disappearance of all its inhabitants. The following is a record of the phenomena occurring within the town, as recorded by Joy Bates' E5 Echo surveillance camera.
Surveillance?
Maybe it's like a psychic camera. Can I pop onto you for a little bit?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Give me the fucking big ass dry prose.
Not the whole thing. Don't do the whole thing. You can come back to me.
Begin log. Camera activates. E5 Echo is seated in the back seat of the task force's Humvee. Pentacle members perform a perfunctory mic check as they pull up to the perimeter of the town. Shouldn't it be MIC, or are they checking guys named Mike, but not capitalized?
Yeah. They're checking Michael.
After 2 minutes of idle chatter, it is decided that they should proceed via vehicle. The chains in the road break easily beneath the Humvee's wheels. Did I do it justice you did? E5 Echo watches out the window as the surrounding forest gives way to a thick blanket of mist. Visibility drastically reduces, and E5 Bravo slows the vehicle to a crawl. After creeping for several meters through the fog, it is decided that exploration should occur on foot. E5 Bravo pulls to the side of the road. All passengers disembark. E5 Bravo kills the engine and follows suit.
Yeah, John!
Life for engine! Life for engine! God damn it, all the tension's gone. I love it. Very little can be discerned as E5 Echo looks around. A black sedan lay just north of their position. It is laying on its side perpendicular to the road, and the roof has been torn free. To the right sits an ivy-coated brick building behind a rusted chain-link fence. Nothing can be seen beyond the sidewalk across the street from their position. The unit draws their firearms and form a defensive position behind the Humvee. I assume forms? While E5 Charlie employs imaging hardware. E5 Bravo teases E5 Delta after the latter complains of the silence within the once bustling town of their birth. E5 Alpha I'm echoing on your thing.
Sorry.
You're a little echo boy.
I'm so fucking sorry. I
this
failed you,
Senator. Tanhone. I'm your sensei? You're older than me.
I told you Senator, not sensei.
Oh, I just heard sen in my brain. The synapses. E5
Wow, this guy doesn't care about his own
siblings. This admonishes the siblings and calls for professionalism. The pair acquiesce. Both thermal imaging hardware and a modified SPAD visual... Is it SPAD or SPAD?
I don't think it matters.
Modified SPAD visual asset are incapable of penetrating the fog beyond what can already be seen with the naked eye. What's SPAD?
I don't know.
E5 Alpha announces the decision to continue without visual aid due to the efficacy of natural sight and the needless burden of excess hardware. E5 Echo is called upon to investigate the wrecked vehicle. Her hand crosses the camera feed as she whispers a prayer. She sets off. The car can be heard to still be running as she approaches. Beneath the sound of the engine, an indiscernible country song is heard playing on the radio. Besides missing its roof, there is extensive damage to the driver's side rear, which is missing its door. Hope it's not a fucking Pinto. There is a large amount of blood on both the dashboard and the now deflated.
Oh, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that in your vehicle.
Scruffson?
A large amount of blood? No, that's not good.
Don't you have some pipes to fix, buddy? You're in the wrong series.
I gotta go fix the pipes. Eternity Towers.
The music becomes clearer. It's a Johnny Cash tune. The singing and guitar cease, and there is a bit of static as the musician quotes a Bible verse before the radio falls silent. Close inspection reveals that all seatbelts besides the tattered front passengers remain strapped in and locked, including the 4-point harness on the child's car seat situated behind the driver's chair. E5 Echo turns to relay her findings to the rest of the team. E5 Charlie is absent. E5 Echo makes an exclamation regarding his disappearance, causing alarm amongst the others. It is not noted by E5, but on the lower left of the feed there can be seen a quasi-humanoid figure crouching beneath the Humvee. It skitters swiftly and silently backward and out of sight on 5 forelimbs. E5 Alpha calls for order. He rallies the team and takes point as the group travel down the street and into town. The 4 move in step, with E5 Echo guarding their rear down the side of the road. The team is guided by E5 Delta to cut through an alleyway. Echo's going to be the most important, because Alpha, Bravo, I don't remember what C is, Delta, Echo, so Echo is the fifth one.
This guy gets it.
Yeah. A low, bellowing sound trumpets from on high. The team emerges on the next street and past several buildings. I assume past several buildings.
No, they pass.
There's a bar.
They emerge and then they pass.
Ah, I see. I correct myself.
Aren't you reading that book about writing? Maybe stop skimming, okay?
I am reading it. You actually, have you read it yet?
I've not yet, no.
It's really good. So what it talks about is how, it goes into a lot of things, and I'm still reading, and there's a lot more, but it talks a lot about, like, what actually pulls people into a story, and why, for example, something like, 50 Shades of Grey, which people, like, universally, make jokes about, but sold, like, fucking 1 million copies. Like, the things that attract people to works, and, like, what really makes a work matter and stand out from other manuscripts, yada yada. Everyone should go read that. It's really, really good, and it even gives you steps on, like, how to start planning and writing your novel, I think for anything, if you want to write, you should go read it. It's fucking brilliant. It's called Story Brain by Lisa Cron. It'll be like Story Brain, Story Genius, how to use brain science to write a riveting novel before you write 327 pages that go nowhere. Story Genius. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Where was I?
You were telling me about how they passed several
trumpets? Oh, yeah. And past several buildings. There's a barber shop whose window is shattered. It is dark inside, save for the flickering of a single light near the back of the parlor that reveals signs of struggle. Next to this, a destroyed building smokes with the last embers of a raging fire. E5 Delta and E5 Bravo reminisce over the loss of this structure, which was purportedly their favorite pizzeria growing up. E5 Echo speaks over their conversation, questioning aloud the lack of bodies. E5 Bravo shoots back with a sarcastic response, before the trio is silenced by Alpha, who hears something. A quiet bleating can be heard somewhere in the distance. As the group progresses, a squat figure can be seen enshrouded in the mist across the street. E5 Alpha advances with his weapon at the ready. They come upon a lamb, lying in the grass in the front yard of a 2-story home. The number 5 is painted on its fleece in blue paint. The animal bleats and cries and is clearly distressed by their presence. It shakily stands as if to flee, but quickly collapses. Dried blood spots the ground around the area it lays in. E5 Delta approaches the animal to tend to it, and is mocked with feigned annoyance by her brother. She discovers that the lamb has had something small and metallic lodged into each of its hind hooves, causing it a great deal of pain and prohibiting escape. E5 Echo pans about their surroundings with her rifle at the ready, while E5 Delta kneels next to the creature, petting and comforting it. The fog holds naught beyond an abandoned pickup truck. Charlie! See us, Charlie.
Yeah.
Sorry. She asks if it might be best to euthanize the lamb. At this, in the camera's peripheral, it can be seen to be convulsing violently from the neck up.
It begins shouting, "Life for lamb! Life for lamb!"
Life for lamb! E5 Delta is looking up at her squad leader as this occurs, and is thus not immediately aware of the sudden threat to her person. E5 Echo turns with a start as E5 Bravo shouts to his sister, who sees the beast's behavior and recoils.
It's like, you're like Darkest Dungeon right now.
I'm trying to follow the vibe because it's all spooky, you know?
Yeah. It's just like, hubris is an insidious killer.
Sorry, I can cut it out.
No, I like it.
She falls, scooting backwards across the lawn. E5 Alpha has his weapon trained on the animal and fires. E5 Echo raises her weapon, but does not have a clear shot over the retreating E5 Delta. Despite suffering extensive damage to its midsection in spilling its guts over the soft earth, the animal remains upright and continues to convulse and bleat and scream. Its screams quickly take on a human sound, which then devolves into the vocalizations made by bodies in the Albright Manor's crematorium. E5 Bravo reaches down to help his twin to her feet. She screams. E5 Bravo catches his sister as she falls back. Her feet seem locked in position. E5 Echo lowers her weapon and rushes to E5 Delta's side. So what is happening right now?
The lamb's going fucking crazy and screaming. And
that's like sent them to the ground?
Well, yeah.
Okay, because that's what I thought was happening, but I was like, they didn't get attacked, they just fell from the scream?
Perhaps we'll find out more in the next paragraph.
Looking down, a pair of thick metal implements have risen through the soil, piercing both E5 Delta's feet. Fuck.
That'll do it.
Every time. This is my superpower. Every time. It's like the author's in my head. Each of the foreign objects.
The opposite of New World Order.
Round, old world order.
Brave New World.
Brave New World. Each of the foreign objects has a thick, round head that would not allow them to pull her up off them. E5 Echo hurriedly explains this as she grips around the head of one of the objects and attempts to pry it upwards and out of her teammate. E5 Alpha continues to deliver concentrated fire into the entity as its screams grow in volume. Mirrored cries can be heard in the distance from multiple sources. E5 Bravo cradling his sister. Who's his sister? Is that Delta?
Yeah.
Cries out an expletive. He draws his sidearm with a free hand and flails it about shakily at unseen foes. E5 Alpha reloads his weapon. E5 Echo looks up from her task. The entity is now an unrecognizable bloodied husk. It rears up, leathery wings unfurl from behind the creature. It beats its wings and begins to rise. As it does so, it can be seen that its hind legs are dug into the earth. E5 Echo shouts out reassuringly as she doubles her efforts to free her teammate. The metallic implements pull downward, severing the tip of E5 Echo's right index finger. The ground gives way as E5 Delta is pulled ankle-deep into the earth. E5 Bravo drops his weapon and seizes his sister under the arms as she is dragged knee-deep into the ground. E5 Echo tries to assist in pulling her free. As they struggle, the entity can be seen beating its wings furiously. It has raised itself a half-meter above ground. It's straining and pulling its grossly elongated hind legs, which remain embedded in the soil. E5 Delta is pulled waist-deep. Popcorn.
Bleating can be heard all around the team. E5 Alpha orders the pair to abandon E5 Delta and requests covering fire. Short, concentrated bursts are fired by the squad leader into multiple areas at shadowy figures in the fog. E5 Delta cries and screams for help as she is pulled up to her chest, causing the pair to lose their grip around her torso. E5 Echo draws her sidearm, aims it at E5 Delta, and shouts her intention to decommission and spur the agents. E5 Bravo, who is now locked hand in hand with his sister, pulling with all his might, threatens E5 Echo with her life as she pulls the trigger. Several lambs become visible from within the fog. Each slowly limps towards the group. E5 Alpha again orders his subordinates to retreat as he defends them against the approaching threat.
No, life for Echo. Life for Echo.
E5 Delta is pulled steadily deeper. Her head and arms remain just above the ground. E5 Echo requests permission to fire from E5 Alpha. E5 Bravo roars in defiance. There is a soft rumble as E5 Delta is rapidly dragged underground. Losing his grip, E5 Bravo is pulled forward and falls face first. As he screams and begins falls face first.
Tanner?
He falls face first.
There he is. Sorry, you disconnected for a second.
As he screams and begins
He's so mad at me, guys. Life for Darnell.
Death for Darnell. As he screams and begins to dig at the ground, E5 Echo turns to see the entity rise higher and higher above the ground, pulling its hind legs out of the earth. Its hooves, much like the beast's hind legs, are seen to be elongated, Kif. Bring me my martini. Yes.
Okay.
So I thought I sounded like Zap Brannigan.
You sounded a little bit like Zap Brannigan, but it was very out of nowhere.
They glisten with
I'd say like nothing
shield.
else we've said hasn't been.
As it rises, human feet can be seen being brought up, speared to the hooves. The nude form of E5 Delta is slowly unearthed. Her body is...
Don't worry, Zoidberg can fix it. Was that good? They do it just like you?
Yeah. E5 Bravo shouts a string of obscenities, retrieves his rifle and opens fire. The beast shudders and takes more damage. It flies unsteadily, carrying E5 Delta's body up and over the team. Its upper body becomes enshrouded in the mist. All that can be seen is E5 Delta's corpse, swaying as the beast carries it.
No!
It bleats, rocking its hooves backwards before rapidly bringing them forwards. It slams E5 Delta's body into a nearby telephone pole, where she is pinned by the feet. What remains of the entity and the lambs now surrounding the team dissipate into fog as the trumpets bellow again.
So is this like a weird tentacle monster? Is this like a sheep monster?
It's
what
a
is
sheep
happening?
monster with wings.
Sheep monster with wings. So how is it like pinning people to telephone poles?
It swung her into it and then she got pinned.
Oh, because it's like manifests those metal things, right? Oh my god, it's like it's got powers?
Yeah, it's got abilities. It's got moves.
What kind of cassette beast is this?
E5 Alpha radios command to deliver its sitrep and is given orders to continue the descent into town. E5 Echo is preoccupied with bandaging her finger. Against protest from Alpha, Bravo attempts to ascend the telephone pole to dislodge his sister's corpse. He fails in scaling the structure, and after 2 more attempts heeds Alpha's orders. The trio depart.
I see we're dropping the E5.
Yeah.
To be fair, E5 is definitely a filler word in this article.
They carefully trek through the neighborhood for the next 20 minutes, guided by Bravo's direction. The final chaotic moments of the town become more apparent as they walk onwards. Multiple vehicular accidents dot the roads and lawns of the suburbs. Home and auto alarms ring out in the distance. Fog mixes with smoke from structure fires. Weeping is heard intermittently. No source is found. It is as the remaining members of Pentacle pass a wrought iron fence that that Alpha reports a stench of decay. Bravo expresses concern. Though it cannot be seen from the position on the sidewalk outside the fence, Bravo explains they are passing by the town's elementary school. Alpha swears. A human outline becomes visible ahead of the team, against the fence under the shade of a tree. It becomes clear as they approach that there are several such figures straddled to the fence under the shade of a weeping willow, whose branches extend over the fence from the school grounds. Each figure seems to be naked and unmoving. The trio carefully keep their distance, leaving the sidewalk and circling into the streets around the figures. One of the most iconic monsters in modern horror is a naked guy.
Yeah, what up with that?
I don't know, I just noticed it.
Why are there so many naked people going around here?
Because they're free.
If I saw a naked, amnesia monster, I'd be like, put some clothes on, alright?
I'd be like, excuse me, you forgot your clothes.
You're under arrest for public indecency, citizen's arrest.
You got fucking bald. The trio carefully keep their distance, leaving the sidewalk and circling into the street around the figures. There are 5 in total. Their bodies can be seen to be tied by the wrists to the fence and held upright. Each in its various states of decay, and their backsides are torn and bloody with large gashes cutting across each corpse. The cause of death is speculated by Echo to be from flagellation.
Jesus Christ.
The corpse in the centre is noted to be fresh in the nose on either side of it, and the wounds of its back possess a different appearance than the others, inciting inquiry by the team. Bravo walks toward it. He pulls out his canteen, opens it, and pours water over the body. Enough blood is washed away to reveal what remains of a tattoo on the body's upper back. It is the insignia of Pentacle, identifying the corpse as the missing Charlie.
No!
The lacerations can be seen to have been precisely struck in order to spell out a single phrase. This is where I died.
No, you fool! You can't touch that!
Don't look at it!
Is it luck or touch?
I think it was touch. Alpha forbids...
And they touched him. He pulled it away.
Alpha forbids further action with the corpse. Echo watches as Bravo backs away from the bodies. As he turns to join his teammates, a thick thorned vine descends from the bough of the willow tree. Forest of Sin.
Forest of Sin.
It quickly ensnares Bravo around his cranium, drawing blood. Bravo drops his canteen and attempts to wrest himself free, but he is pulled sharply upwards and out of sight. Splintering bones can be heard over his screams. Both sounds are short-lived before the trumpets bellow again. Blood and viscera spill from the treetop. Alpha grabs Echo by the shoulder and the pair retreats.
Do you think Ioneer could convince the Forest of Sin to change their ways?
No.
Did you see, by the way, my several reasons on why Ioneer at some point needs to come out of Morgan?
I saw this. Yeah.
Just needed to make sure you saw that so I can determine your act levels based on what happens to him.
This guy just won't let me cook.
I won't let you cook.
He's got no faith. He's a regular Arthur Morgan.
Despite the fact that I constantly am
He's
pleasantly
the Arthur
surprised.
Morgan to my Dutch.
Well, we all know how that story ends.
It is, I realize, you always, praising me, and I'm like, have you completely lost faith in me, Doriel?
Are you out of your mind?
Who's Micah in this scenario?
Have you seen the memes of, Dutch, and it's like, Arthur, we're gonna win a free iPad. Yeah. I don't know, Dutch. I think that's a scam. Have a little faith.
Alpha grabs Echo by the shoulder and the pair retreat. The agents run down the street in the direction they came from. Bleating and screaming can be heard in response to this, though the agents encounter no obstacles. Without the guidance of the twins, and due to environmental stresses, the agents make a wrong turn after several minutes. They carry along a side street which leads towards the town centre, against their knowledge. At the edge of their perception on all sides, faces can be seen briefly in the fog. They coalesce for but a moment before losing all cohesion, appearing elsewhere. Distant weeping can again be heard. Sobbing becomes laughter. The faces in the mist leer unseen by the agents as they run. This is like a Halloween special. I like this.
I totally forgot, by the way, during our news earlier to announce the thing I need to announce, so I'll do it at the end.
Yeah, maybe not right now. The cruel and mocking laughter grows in intensity as the pair progress. Something large stirs underneath, beginning to be free from its shackles. Alpha howls with rage, brandishes his sidearm, and fires at nothing.
Brandishes his what?
Brandishes his sidearm, and fires at nothing.
There was nothing weird about that. Nice.
Okay.
No.
Echo pauses. She begs her squad leader to compose himself and soldier on. He's behaving erratically and refuses to listen to reason. She threatens to leave him behind, yet he does not comply.
I wanted to make fun of you for something, but I stopped myself because I remembered my promise.
What did I do?
You said shidarm.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You said
that's the character I'm portraying. She runs
shidarm.
He's making fun of me for it. He said he wouldn't.
No, you asked me. It's zip. Promise delivered.
Daffodil. She runs off on her own. Alpha's shouts and gunshots ring out for the next few minutes over the bleating and the laughing and the weeping. The trumpets bellow again. All is silent. Echo continues, cutting through the cul-de-sac and several properties, before tripping over something embedded in the ground. She screams, looking down at the machine as she's injured her leg and is bleeding. After a moment she comes to a stand. Panning about, it becomes clear that she has stumbled into a cemetery. She curses thrice into her breath, immediately apologies, and says a quick prayer.
She doesn't curse 5 times?
No, thrice. She's not with the game of the program.
I know.
She hobbles through the cemetery, occasionally using headstones for support. Before her, the outline of a church becomes visible. She circles the building, coming around to the front. The stairs are shakingly navigated, and she pushes open the front door, collapsing once within. There exists no fog within the structure.
I still have yet to get a sound.
Well, maybe you're just unlucky or lucky. The entirety of its interior is able to be envisaged. E5 Echo looks about the church. Everything is in perfect order. It is the house of God, after all. In stark contrast to the chaos throughout the town proper. In taking in her surroundings, Echo becomes fixated on the large cross behind the pulpits. The figure nailed to it is moving. She stands in closest distance. It's Alpha. His fatigues and equipment are absent. A tunic is wrapped about his midsection. He coughs as Echo approaches. Blood and nails are expelled from his mouth as he does so. As Echo reaches out towards her squad leader, his eyes open. There is a blinding light coming from them. There is a noise of thunder. The very foundation of the building shakes with sound.
I think I sense some influence, how this article might have influenced you.
What do you mean?
Foundation.
Oh. Well, that's not where it goes from. And Echo stumbles backward. She runs for the door as Alpha bleats behind her.
Tell me where your phrase comes from.
A Full Metal Alchemist.
Nice.
Now outside, Echo looks about in a panic. She descends the stairs, rushing to get off the church's property. Rumbling can be heard behind her. Turning, she can see that nearest graves have collapsed. Hands and fingers grip the edges of the one closest to her. Echo continues as fast as her injury will allow. She nears the street in front of the house of worship and falls to her knees. She tries to stand and finds she is unable. Heavy footsteps become audible. The earth quakes with each step. She cries and begs forgiveness. She begins to pray. Her prayers are interrupted and she lets out a wet, gurgling sound. She looks down, revealing a long, bladed instrument embedded in her side. Her camera feed begins to raise up, up. The ground is lost beneath the shroud of fog. There exists no point of reference within the fog to discern how high the agent is raised, before she has turned around to face and behold a massive human figure. It brings her up to meet its gaze, though its eyes are enshrouded in shadow. Its bearded face is gaunt. The agent struggles as the entity brings her closer to its face. The level of proximity reveals that the entirety of its countenance is comprised of countless human bodies, squirming up against one another. The false beast opens its maw. From the depths of its being, a rolling thunder can be heard. The trumpets bellow again. End log.
It was roiling thunder, not rolling thunder.
Fuck.
This one's by Dr. Panagiotopoulos.
Yeah.
Topoulos.
And it does say warning, cease and desist. So for today, we may have to actually obey that because we are already short on time.
I'm disappointed though. You got me all hyped about the sound, and I doubt it's like this is big enough that I can YouTube sound that comes up in 5999.
It was like some like spooky whispering, basically.
Oh, that's whatever.
It just surprised me.
You got me hyped. Alright, well, I guess we gotta read some comments then, huh?
Yeah, this guy hates reading comments.
No, I like comments.
I got a comment in April Space today. This is April Space spoilers, so it was like, he answers the question, it's like, answer the question, by the way, and then I answered it, it's like, why did you answer it?
Wait, which video
Most recent April Space video. To Reign Supreme Part
check.
3.
Why did you answer? What do they mean?
What do you want from me?
That's what happened. It wasn't a secret.
It was like, you asked as well.
That's so good. Anyway, we're not here for them. We're here for the Discovering SCP comments.
Okay, let's get into it.
Take a look. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are so ready. We're so back.
Crocat is
Okay.
dum-dum. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Sorry, I saw he responded to my message, but he's a fool. Okay. JTKC says, happy that more of Lord Zunu stuff is read. His stuff on the SPC is excellent. You should check it out. I really liked Requiem of the Ice Spider, just for the fact that it did so much for so little. And yeah, it can get a little cheesy with the look how far we've come, but I still enjoyed it. I can forgive it that, because we also do that like every 2 episodes. So, Lord Zunu gets a pass.
Yeah.
Also, goddamn, that's a lot of passwords. 1. The Wright brothers actually used to run a newspaper stand before getting into aviation. I made this up, actually, but it could be true, but there's no way Tan has the willpower to Google multiple facts about the Wright brothers after being so tired of reading SCPs. I'm calling him bluff.
He's right. By the time we read the password, I've also forgotten and stopped caring about the passwords. So
2.
You can say any shit and tell me it's the password, I'd probably believe you.
2. A cool guy who flew planes was a guy in the Air Force where my friend worked. He appeared in the phone ad for one of those flip-open smartphones telling everyone how cool it was, but when my friend asked what were their thoughts now, his opinion completely flipped after a couple of months of usage and started shit-talking it. Side note, when you conscript men who are barely in their 20s into the pilot course, you're going to see a lot of wacky call signs ranging from chaos or darkness to Katsudan or pooper. I like pooper. Pooper's my call sign. Pooper, what's your 6?
Pooper, it looks like you got a gremlin on the wing.
Pooper's what Skipper's enemies call him in The Supremacy.
He's in the anime original movie.
They call him Pooper, and Skipper, clenches the bathroom sink crying in the mirror. He's like, I'm not Pooper! Life for Skipper! Life! 3. Both of you are 13 out of 10 individuals, and I say that with zero irony whatsoever. Aww. Also rating this episode a 26 out of 10 since both of you add up to the rating. Have a good week, guys. Smile.
We made it.
Yeah, so I asked him to rate... I think one of my passwords was which one of us is better. Which... I don't know why I decided to make it a civil war. MT2K21 says, an awesome episode, as always. In other news, the SCP community hates animation channels so much that they permanently changed the SCP's page.
Hell yeah, I don't know what you're referring to, but I like it.
Glad to hear it, or that sucks. Whichever one will get me in the least trouble. Sobek says, Password 1. The Wright brothers were in an epic rap battles of history episode versus the Mario brothers. Everyone knows that.
Really?
Yeah,
So were they living, or did they parade around their impersonators?
Life for Wright brothers. Okay.
We need to bring them back.
Can this episode be called Path of Life or Path of Death? And it's Akamanto. Isn't Akamanto like a skull mask, like a weird deer skull on like a black cloak?
No.
How did he look again?
He has a half red, half blue, drama mask.
Oh, that's not nearly as cool as I imagined in my head. I was imagining like Ancient Magus Bride for the head. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's what I was imagining. Your version's worse, I've decided. Password 2. Part of the reason that airplane food tastes bad is that the changes in humidity and pressure actually makes it harder for your taste buds to detect salty and sweet flavors. Password 3. You were both 13 out of 10 with 3 bonus stars. Smile.
I can cash these in at the DSCP store.
Yeah. You can cast in... If we've ever read your work and rated it, you can cash in your stars for points.
Wait, you swap stars for points? What does that... What do the points get you?
No, I'm saying you can cash in your stars for... Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You can just change the format.
You can cash in your stars for rewards
No. I love the idea that you can cash in stars for points, and the only thing you can do with points is exchange them for stars.
What happens is
a lower exchange rate.
The points put you on a scoreboard, and whoever has the least points every month gets executed. So you have to keep appearing, and you have to keep doing well. Issa Claus 2183 says, great episode. I do not know the password. Darnell is still the true host of DSCP. That is blatantly false. And I'll tell you why. Because this podcast, if Tanhoney had a guest on instead of me, would still run. But if it was just me and a random, I would be fucked.
I don't know. You're more charismatic than me, I would say. You're more
you have so much Riz, Tanhoney. They call you Rizhoney, private.
Who?
Yeah, people go, oh, I'm so shy and nervous to talk to Tanhoney. It's just blush emoji, and I'm like, he's a person. And they're like, oh, but what if I bother him? And people would just bother me about the most.
I don't get it. DM me anything. This guy is asking me currency questions.
I literally constantly bother him, and everyone will be like, oh, this Tanhoney? I'm like, ask him, and I'm like, oh, but I don't want to be a bother. Then why are you bothering me? DM him.
Yeah.
Why? Because the thing is, it's not a bother to you, right? But if you think it's a bother, then why do you think it's okay to bother me but not him? I don't understand.
Don't worry, if you do bother me, I'll just reply with the word deaf.
Yeah. If you actually bother Tanhoney, the worst thing he would possibly do is not respond to you.
I'll ban you from all the Discord servers in seriousness now if you do bother me. Don't you dare
Yeah.
fucking DM me.
Whatever you
Are you
do,
fucking
don't
kidding
send
me?
him
Do
any
you know who
lewd.
I am?
Don't send him any lewd art of Pietro Wilson. That's the one thing.
But in all seriousness,
he doesn't
like, you seriously think you can PM me on Discord? Do you know who I fucking am? You really think you can do that shit to me?
Literally
To
anyone.
Tammany?
Anyways.
Imagine I just reveal my true colours like a diva.
Yeah. I hate you guys! All you are numbers on my
It's like, at the
screen
end,
to
it's
bring
like,
me
okay,
money.
episode's over. Oh, another fucking week talking to these miscreants.
I will say, speaking of money on the Patreon, I definitely, Anomalous maybe needs to edit this out, but
My baby, hello. My honey, hello. My ragtime gal.
I'm just saying, oh god, what is the music? What's happening?
It got you.
What's happening?
The audio got you.
What's going on? Help!
They got you.
Death! Where's the music?
It's going from 5999.
I don't know what's happening. Make it stop. Are you playing music?
No, it's the thing that got you. I imagine.
No,
the
it
article.
didn't because I X'd out of it and it's still playing.
Oh, I don't know what you're listening to then.
Oh, it's Cassette Beasts. The trailer for Cassette Beasts started
Looking at
playing.
it, Steve.
No, it just started playing.
What's that?
It was like, Cassette Beasts! It's like, what's happening?
I like how I played like 15 minutes of cassette piece and we're like the biggest stance for it.
Well, the thing about Cassette Beasts is I've actually known about it for a long time because I saw the creators
When
on
did it come out?
TikTok.
Has it come out recently or?
It came out in May, but I've known of it for several months because they were advertising on TikTok, but I just forgot about it until you mentioned it.
On the advertise on TikTok uninstalled.
And then I was like, oh shit, it's out. But it's really cool, I've heard. And it has amazing reviews. Anyway, we're not here about that. Sorry. I got jump scared by music.
That's okay.
Holy shit!
What?
Dino Tales says, hey guys, I'm back. Sorry I haven't been commenting. I've been very busy with piacinal plans.
No.
I hope you live long enough to see
We
them.
told you to stop with that project.
Password. We told you do not
that
develop
research was
Oh,
too unethical.
Can I make a meme prediction real quick, by the way? Speaking
A
of
meme
bombs and
prediction.
whatnot.
Wow, okay.
A meme prediction.
You want to be
I
plural,
did
so
predict the
guess.
rise of Dogecoin, by the way, but that's another story. But my meme prediction is when Oppenheimer comes out and people start making memes about it, they're going to bring back Oppa Gangnam Style, but it's going to be Oppenheimer style.
You've just shown me the devil timeline.
I know it's going to exist, and I'm calling it now, and when it does, you can call me a prophet. I'm just saying. Anyways, what was I reading? Oh, Dinotail says, Password 1. Manfred von Richthofen is considered the greatest ace pilot in World War I, having 80 confirmed victories. Password 2. Tanhoney is an 8 out of 10. He may have some very obvious flaws, British, but he also wrote one of my favorite SCPs, so bounce.
Where do I lose the 2 points?
You have obvious flaws.
What?
British.
Big balances out, he said.
Anyway, Darnell.
Where do I lose the 2 points?
Don't worry. I'm worse. Darnell's a 6 out of 10. He would have scored higher, but then he decided to ruin the Ice Spider's funeral. So,
Fair.
Shythalia says, "Hold on, who's the Catboy SCP?
Me.
Eyes." Darnell, that accent was distracting. What accent?
I think you did like a British accent for Netherlands.
Did I?
You did.
No one understands me. My accents are good. Password for Tanhoney. Before the Wright brothers made planes, they repaired and sold bicycles. I thought they did newspapers.
Did the bicycles fly? Didn't think so.
Password for Darnell. Instead of password 4, I want I just keep thinking life 4 and death 4. Well, there was a girl with no arms who once flew a plane. Don't know if she did it again.
Jesus.
Third password. You're both a 10 to me, smile.
Wow, so we're like 5 out of 10 each. So
I love how Dino Tales was the
I
only
figured
one
it
who
out.
was...
That's a stealth insult. What they're saying is that we're both 5 out of 10 and we add up to a 10 out of 10.
Oh, shit. That's fucked up, Shythalia. But I will say, I love that
Dino
Dinotales. Everyone else thought we were like fishing for compliments. They're like all being nice to us. And Dinotales is like so hardcore. He's like, Tanoni, I'm gonna have to dock you a few points. Darnell, a couple more.
I didn't actually get a reason for why I lost 2 points.
Sometimes you just have to accept what it is. Crowcat, dumb motherfucker that he is, he says, I'm pretty sure the person just wrote the post beforehand and then copy and pasted it. They weren't writing 200 words per minute. No, what I meant is in the timeline, that post came out at a certain time. So the soonest they could have possibly started typing their post, even if they copy and pasted it in, was after reading that. And keep in mind, it takes time to read the post as well. And then they typed it, and then based on the amount of words in the post time on the thing compared to that, they were doing 200 words per minute, assuming that they had read it instantaneously, is what I was trying to imply.
Yeah.
But you don't understand that.
Foundation?
Damnation. Death for Crocat. Comedy Man Kelp 4000. Why does everyone have, like, weird Discord ats now?
I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. It's fucking weird.
It's in this new ecosystem, you can never have, like, here, John. John is trying to get everywhere in the comment section. Send John to the new YouTube video.
Trying to make us easier to track. At Comedy Man Kelp says, alright, so I'm a filthy fence sitter, so I'm going to do both Tanoni and Darnell's passwords. Since I know you guys occasionally forget what the passwords are when recording the next episode, Tan's password was to say a fact about the Wright brothers you didn't get from Wikipedia, while Darnell's was to name a famous aviator that wasn't Amelia Earhart.
I never knew you were a snitch, Comedy Man Kelp.
The Wright brothers' first names were Wilbur and Orville, and they were from a town called Kitty Hawk, which I believe was in North Carolina.
New April
Charles
Space name
Lynn
just dropped.
Kitty Hawk?
Yeah.
Wow. Charles, yeah, we haven't had any other cat people yet. Where's our cute cat girls? You gave us a well, I can't say that. Hang on, I stopped myself. Actually, by the time this comes out, will that be out already?
I don't know. Don't play around.
I'm not playing around. Charles Lindbergh was the first pilot to make a transatlantic flight, flying from North America to Europe.
Cool.
Senpao says, have you two done a Murphy Law video?
We have.
Yes, I love Murphy Law.
I couldn't tell you the episode number because we're like doing a ridiculous.
If you go to the XK class Discovering SCP, like SCP article, there's an episode list where
it should be there. Yeah,
it may not be updated, but it should. Murphy Law should be far enough back that it's in there. An anomalous writer says, Tales and SCP article mix. Let's go. Password, famous aviator, according to Google, Howard Hughes. I don't know who this is. Wright brother facts. Orville Wright was born in Ohio, and Wilbur Wright was born in Indiana.
To different fathers and different mothers. Strangely
I
enough.
rate Darnell and Tanoni 10 out of 10. Or 10 divided by 10 for one whole. Ah!
So 1 out of 10.
And then lastly, no, for 1, period.
Oh.
It's not out of anything if it's 10 divided by 10. Kenji6876 says, Tanoni and Darnell be like, sleepy time, smile. I too have been sleeping since, whenever I last commented on an episode. Password edit, nobody knows them probably, but my ex's little sister flies.
I know them. Lily, right?
What the fuck? If you get that right, that's going to be so creepy. Well, thank you guys, as always, for listening. I guess we'll continue this one next time. People hate the multi-part. I like this one too, but people hate the multi-episode articles.
They hate them.
They hate them so much. I mean, to be fair, they're waiting like a week between like a second half of something, so it's very confusing.
To be continued. Think of it that way.
I already know Land's going to bitch about this in the general chat. I'm preparing myself.
We start recording, right?
No. All right. Anomalous, edit that out if you think Land's... If you think we should be worried about Land, edit that out. And for real, edit out that thing I said at the very beginning, because I didn't know that was... I don't want to get no one in trouble, so edit all that out. Love you, Nami. Everybody else, bye!
Bye!
Whoop! Hey guys, I'm having Anomalous splice this in because I fucking forgot to announce it. July 16th at 1 p.m. CDT, Central Daylight Time, or 7 p.m. British time, we will be doing Writer Bot Con Festival Celebration 2023. I hope I got it right, but you know the drill. Send in your fucking drafts. Tell your friends. DM Tanhoney your drafts. Make sure the links work. And we will be live streaming for probably 3 or 4 hours. We're going to try and get through as many as we can. We hope to see you guys there.